Well, hello everyone, welcome back. If you can't tell, it's been another release, and today we're going to be reviewing BodyAttack 124. Now from the start, I'm already going to say I really like this one, but I'll get into a lot more detail. And also the masterclass video, so much better than the last one. I have no idea why the last one was filmed the way that it was, but that was really annoying. But this one is so much better. Back in Studio One in New Zealand, love it. Let's get into it. Now as always, first up we got the warm-up. Now this song is called Lost Without You. I really like this song. It's quite fun and uplifting, really suits the warm-up, and it helps me to get excited for the workout. So love it when they start off on a high for that. Then moves wise, I'll appreciate the different warm-up little combo, just the squat and reach instead of the squat, down, squat, reach, you know, whatever. Anything different is great. I do actually really enjoy the step, like runner knees in it, and I like how you transition that from the step touch into it. But it does help to get warm, especially because there's no going down to the ground for this one. So if anyone struggles to get down to the ground, this one is really good for that because you just stay up on your feet. But other than that, it's got a little squat punch at the end, and yeah, very simple, but it is a pretty effective warm-up and I like it. And we've got Mixed Impact, and this song is called Sweat. Now it is a bit of an oldie song, but it has been redone to like a newer version, which I can really appreciate because personally I hate all of those older songs, like in the 90s and 80s of BodyAttack. Nah, they're so bad. But anyway, I do quite like it. Definitely not my favorite, but it's quite catchy and fun, and yeah, I enjoy it. I love it when they throw an old one in there just every now and then, because then it gets everyone excited, because when you just do a heap of new songs, some of the people that have been doing BodyAttack for a while don't recognize a lot of them, but yeah, this one's really good. Now for the moves, before I get into it, I'm a little bit confused because this release and last release, they've put a break between the warm-up to the Mixed Impact. And before that, there was no break. The music would just feed straight into the next one. Like obviously they're two separate songs, but it would just continue. Whereas now there's a pause in the music, so it's a little bit weird to keep moving while waiting for this song. But anyway, but this one does start out really fast into the gallops. I will say I am a really big fan of the combo for this track, which is the step curl forwards to the run back and bounce. That is really good for level ones because it's not too much for them, but it is especially really good when you add the burpee in because it's enough to challenge the level twos. I will say I'm not usually a fan of burpees in the track 2, but hey, I don't mind it here, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's enough to get the heart rate up, but I do really enjoy it. It's pretty fun, good song, so yeah, starts off well. Now our 3A1 is Circuit. And I'm just gonna say, I thought the last few releases that 3A was aerobic and now it's circuit, but I mean, whatever, it's a track 3. This song is called It's That Time, and I do quite like it. It is like a bit heavy hitting, but it does suit the moves really well because it's sort of more about 3 rounds, quick moves sort of thing, but it's very catchy, and I do appreciate how the song continuously changes through each move that you do. It just doesn't stay the same thing over and over again, so that's really good. Now for our choreo, it is sort of reminds me of a bit of like agility because it's pretty quick movements, but the combo is the 3 jacks to the hold and then the 3 jacks to the single knee lift, and you stay on the one side. But it is like different, but I really enjoy it, and it definitely works well to keep your feet fast, but it also is really good for level ones as well, because I hate it when the combo's just too confusing and too much to scale it down to a point where they're not even doing the same thing. But that is really good, and even with the high knees added in, love it. Now the first and third rounds are exactly the same, just on other sides. The second round is the one that's different, and that combo is a triple pulse squat to a single leg balance, which then you add the jumps in it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I do appreciate how it keeps the moves similar as the other rounds. Like, it's a very similar thing, but it's not the same. But I don't know, I just find that one a little bit like more awkward than the first combo. But I do still like it, but I will say it's definitely not a simple track. Like, if you're new to it, this track would be way too confusing, like, just to understand. But I do quite like it. I have liked all of the circuit tracks so far, so that's doing pretty good. Now for our 3B, aerobic, which I swear was 3A, but anyway. This one is called Merry-Go-Round. And this song definitely suits aerobic, but it is way too repetitive for me. As soon as you get into the main combo of this track, it is the same thing that repeats over and over and over and over and over again, and it just drives me insane. It just annoys me so much. Another thing with this song is I find it really hard to listen to the beat changes, because I'm more of a person that listens to the music changing, so then I change the moves. I don't really count how many times I'm doing it. Like, I don't count for 4 or 8 or whatever. I just listen to the music. Whereas this song makes it really hard to do that, because it sounds like it's coming to an end, but it keeps going, and it just, I don't know, it's so annoying. I can't stand this song. But anyway, now for our choreo, starts off pretty simple at the start of each round with just a double shuffle and single shuffle. But it's got our good old knee combo, which is the 3 double knees to the 2 single knees. Now, what I love about the choreo for it is every single round you do that combo. The first round you build up to it. So you start with the double knees, you add the crossover, and then you add the 2 single knees to make the combo. Then the second round, you come back to the combo and add the turn, and then the third round you add like more arms in. I really love how you keep coming back to it, because a lot of times they just throw this at the end and then it just loses people because you're not doing it for long enough, really. But this gives everyone a chance to actually understand it, because we keep coming back to the same thing. It's got jacks and a square run at the end of each run, but yeah, I love the moves for it. Now, even though this combo isn't exactly like the simplest combo, a lot of people know it just because it is like pretty much one of like BodyAttack's signature like aerobic combos. But I love how we do it enough times before we add the turn, because when you add the turn, people just lose it. But, you know, there's definitely been better choreo-wise and obviously song-wise, but I do quite like it, other than song. So yeah. I'ma get to vertigo. Now for our plyo, this song is called Vertigo. I find this song like pretty heavy hitting. Like, I feel like some people may not like how heavy it is, but I don't mind it. It's definitely like in the middle there. Not too repetitive, but it definitely works for this track. So give it a thumbs up. Now for the first main combo of this track, it's the 4 snowboards to the 1 squat jump with the arm swing. I absolutely love the timing on this, because the 4 snowboards are fast, but then it gives you enough time to sort of slow down and do the squat jump, because some people will struggle with the pacing if it was like, just say 2 squat jumps or something. But that is really good because it keeps everyone moving together. And I really love the single squats that turn into the squat jumps with the arm swings at the start of every other round. Like, that is quite nice, because, you know, we don't do squat jumps really that often, so love a bit of a different one. Another thing with that, it allows everyone to catch their breath and then speed up and increase power with the music, so that is really nice. And the high knee run and lunges are always good in this track. Get your heart rate up, get you dying, thumbs up. But it is pretty simple moves wise, but it does work and quite like it. So yeah. One other thing with this track is it does split the room in half. To me, unnecessary. Why? the both sides are literally doing the exact same thing. Like, fair enough for agility, that's just agility's thing, but this, to me, nah. No need to split the room, but hey, whatever. Everybody go. Now for our athletic strength, this one is called Delirious, or in brackets, Boneless. Now if you've heard the original song, which is actually Boneless, I love that one. And I still don't mind Delirious, but it's definitely a techno, sort of newer version song that a lot of older people aren't the biggest fan of, but hey, I love it. It does get a little bit like weird sounding during some of the push-ups, but I quite like it. Now for our moves, I actually quite like how we start down on the ground and not on our feet, because usually we start on the feet, but this is a nice change. And the first combo is the 3 mountain climbers to 1 push-up. Great, love it, gives you enough time to get down for the push-up. It's not like you're trying to cram heaps of mountain climbers in. It's also not too quick for level 1, like they can do it from their knees and still work. And I absolutely love the tricep rhythm, like the down, up, hold, up, down, hold. Like, that's amazing. I've never felt the burn more in my triceps. Like, best thing ever. And the good thing with that is we keep coming back to the combos for the next 2 rounds as well. So most people are familiar with them and then able to keep pushing further through the rest of the rounds. But the leg work through it is the single leg squats, and then with the balance lifting your foot off the ground. I find we don't really do it long enough to actually feel much. Like, yeah, you can feel a little bit in the quad, but it's just not enough, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like we need to be doing it for quite a bit longer to actually feel a good burn, but hey, I mean, I'm happy to work more of the upper body. But I'll say I do quite enjoy this track, mainly because of the song. I just love Boneless, but anyway. But yeah, it is quite nice. Good one to catch the breath as well. Then we got running, and this one is called Karma. I'm sure most of you guys know this song from the good old T-Swizzle herself, Miss Taylor Swift. I love her original song Karma so much, but this remix I actually still quite enjoy. It's, at least it keeps all of her words, it keeps the song sounding like pretty similar, but just with a good beat to it. But yeah, it works with BodyAttack, works for running, it's fun, it's uplifting. I quite like it. I'll say usually I'm not a fan of these remixes of like original songs, but hey, this one's quite good. Now for our choreo, it starts out good with the triple pulse reverse lunges and then the single lunges, but I'm not a fan of the combo that comes after it, which is the run forward and back with the 2 lunges. I just find it a bit awkward because you're going fast in the run and then you have to stop and lunge and then you have to get back into the run. It just feels a bit, I don't know, not the right pacing, but hey, I mean, this is obviously a heavy lunge track, so that's fine. Now in the last round, it goes back to the triple pulse lunges, but it adds a lift in the second pulse. So you lunge, lift, lunge, and in. And I find it's a little bit tricky to explain what you're actually meant to do. Like, you're meant to be leaning forward and just slightly lifting the back leg, but not like kicking it up. So all the weight's staying on the front leg, if you know what I mean. But I just find it a bit weird to explain, only because we're not doing it for like that long. But also in the video, the participants are not even doing it right, and they're there in the masterclass. Like, some of them are literally doing it wrong. So whatever, like, if you do it right, it works. But anyway, the arms for it as well are a little bit weird, meh, but anyway, it's got arms, so. But yeah, I don't mind this track. I can appreciate that it's a bit like slower paced than a lot of other running tracks, because half the time you're trying to add in burpees and do this and do that, but this one's a bit slower if you get your breath back. And yeah, I Definitely enjoy the song a lot more than the moves, but it's all right. Now for our agility, and this song is called Fool Me. I actually really like this song for an agility. I just find it fits quite well. Yeah, it is pretty heavy hitting, but I find I like it to be a bit doofier to get me through it, because agility is definitely not my fave. But yeah, it's not too repetitive either, so quite enjoy it. We've sort of got a few little combos through this track. The first one is the lunge, leap and run combo. Sort of like a leap to the corner, 6 runs, leap. It's good how you're able to do it like sort of easy and small, but you're also able to make the combo so much bigger, like use more space. That one's really nice. And then the drop squat, run forward, like always is simple, but it keeps your feet fast, like it. Good old ladder runs, and then the ladder run turning to each point of the room is also good. But I find the best combo, well, my favorite one, is the drop squat with the 2 little jumps turning to each side of the room. I just find that last combo works so well for just like an agility, but also timing wise and everything. I just really, really like that one. But I think what makes this track so good to me is 3 rounds, exactly the same, but the first round you learn, the second round you have nailed the moves, so you start to use more energy. Third round, go as hard as you can. Like it's really good, because by the end you're really familiar with it, but you're just going really hard, using the space. Love it. So yeah, out of all agilities that I've done, this is probably up there for me. I quite enjoy it. Now for our interval, this song is called My Party. And this song's alright. Again, I'm sorry, it's way too repetitive for me. Exactly like aerobic. It just bugs me. I usually love an interval song, like they're really nice, but this one just, nah. Annoying. For our choreo, it is actually like really simple, and I mean really simple. It's just running, bouncing, and then run and bounce combo, run and kick combo, and a kick, and then you add a side flick later on. That's literally it. Like, very basic, very plain. Not very much to say about it because of how simple it is. There's no arm combos either, other than if you do like the little dance thing in the third round, but that's just more of a fun thing. Very beginner friendly. Yes, if you're new, easy. But it's just meh for me. It's not really special. Now for our 9A, which is circuit, which again last time was power, but anyway, this song is called Barricade. Again, I quite enjoy it. It is on the heavier side, but I like it. It definitely fits a circuit track, because circuit tracks more seem to be going with the not many words route. But yeah, I think it fits well with this track. Now for the moves, the first round is pretty simple, just with a high knee run and jack back combo. Then you go into a skater, and then while you're in the skaters, you then have to try and beat the music and go faster, which I quite like that. That's really good to just work as hard as you can straight off the bat. Then a high knee run or a sprint to finish starts off well. The second and third rounds start with a burpee into a single leg hold. I'm not a big fan of those sort of things. Like, I wasn't a fan of it in the running track, whenever that was. But it's good to get the breath back, but I just find it a bit like weird. But that's just me. Then it just goes back into the same high knee run and jack combo, but if you're level 2, you add the air jacks, which is a really nice challenge. I always love a few air jacks in there. I do quite like this track. like for the challenge. That is the good thing. It's definitely effective in getting your energy out. Like I quite like it, other than the burpee. One quick thing I just want to mention, if you're watching the video, the chick who does this track in there, not Lisa, the other one, I love her and all, but I kept getting my eyes drawn to her because she kept going on the wrong leg while she was running. And when there's 3 of them up there, it's really easy to tell. And I don't know, she just kept going on the wrong leg. I'm sorry, love you and all, but it just annoyed me. But anyway, it's fine, she's still running. Now for 9B, which is power, this song is called Gabba Style. Now, this song's all right. I definitely prefer the circuit song to this one, but hey, it works for power, and it reminds me of another song, but I have no idea what it is. But it's like, feels really familiar. But anyway, yeah, it's all right. Now for our main combos, they are all running in a square. And I quite like that, because even though it is like repeated a few times, it's not like the exact same thing every single time. Like you keep changing it slightly, but also you don't realize how long you're actually doing it for. Like it doesn't feel as long as how long you've already been going for after doing like 3 squares. But yeah, it's not too confusing or anything, so that's quite nice. The little waits in the song, like where you do the 4 jacks on the spot or the quick little run on the spot to wait for the song beat to hit, they're a little bit annoying, but I mean, whatever. It's just the song. But I do like how it starts with the run to the runner's knee turn, and then it turns into the high knees with the jacks, and then eventually the 3 jacks, 1 tuck. But yeah, it's quite nice. And then you start on the left, and then you go to the right for instructors. Start on the right, go to the left for participants. But anyway, the last round doesn't have any of the squares, just a shorter round to push yourself a little bit more. But I quite like the moves in this one. Now for our core, this song is called Feel Good. Now this song doesn't do much for me. I'm not a fan. It reminds me of some of those crap songs that core has, I'm sorry, but it's a bit of a doozy, yeah. For our moves, it starts off in a hover and then you walk your feet out and in. Then it goes into like a really quick crunch, like you don't do many, and then to a double knee drop. It's all right, works. Then you sort of bring your knees all the way down to the front and do a bit of a side crunch. That definitely works a lot better for the obliques than the knee drops. But hey, this one seems to focus on obliques a lot more than the middle of the core, but that's fine. We don't usually get the obliques very often, so yeah. It is pretty easy, really. It's not too difficult, but yeah, it's not my fave. And then for our stretch, this song is called Whole Heart, and it's quite nice and relaxing. Good finish. I enjoy it. So overall, I do actually really like this release. Other than the 2 songs that annoy me for repetition, the rest is actually pretty good. And moves-wise, it's a lot about doing the same thing over again. So you really get used to the moves. It's not like changing just so much and getting lost. So yeah, I actually think this is a really good one. Now I hope you enjoyed it, and you can let me know what you thought of this release down below, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.